Puddle Lane, the rescue of Father and Mother Mouse. The rescue of Father and Mother Mouse. A full moon was shining down into the magician's garden. 3 little mice crept out of the shadows under the hollow tree. Their eyes shone in the moonlight. Chestnut, Jeremy, and Miranda were setting off to rescue Father and Mother Mouse from Harry and Gita's house in Puddle Lane. Gita's grandmother had bought Father and Mother Mouse in Mr. Wideawake's toy shop. Chestnut had seen one of them, and he knew where they were. Chestnut carried a sack of the magician's magic dust to make Father and Mother Mouse come alive. The moon shone down into the magician's garden. Chestnut, Jeremy, and Miranda came out into the moonlight. The mice ran through the long grass to the gates of the garden. They went under the gates and out into Puddle Lane. As they came to Mr. Puffle's house, they saw something standing in the lane and stopped nervously. "It's all right," said Chestnut after a moment. "It's only a bucket." They could hear Mr. Puffle snoring, but he didn't sound dangerous. The little mice ran down Puddle Lane. As they came to Mr. Puffle's house, they saw a bucket. They ran across the lane to Harry and Gita's house. "How are we going to get in?" asked Jeremy. "Perhaps there's a window open," said Miranda. "Let's go and see." They ran up the wall to the first windowsill and then on to the next, but the windows were all shut. The mice ran up the wall, but the windows were shut. When they reached the top window, Miranda looked in through the glass and gave a little squeak of excitement. "They're there," she squeaked. "They're inside." Jeremy and Chestnut peered through the glass. Father and Mother Mouse were standing on a shelf just inside the window. "We've got to get in," said Jeremy. Miranda looked in the window. She saw Father and Mother Mouse. "We'll go down the chimney," said Chestnut. "Come on." He led the way up to the roof and up onto the chimney pot. "Follow me," he said. "I've been down chimneys before." He disappeared into the black hole of the chimney pot. Miranda and Jeremy followed. "We will go down the chimney," said Chestnut. He led the way. It was very dark in the chimney, and it smelt of burnt sticks and old fires. Little flakes of soot broke off as they climbed down into the room. By the time they came out in the fireplace, the 3 mice were all as black as coal. They listened. Someone was asleep in the bed in the middle of the room. The 3 little mice came out into the room. Someone was asleep in the bed. "Come on," whispered Chestnut. "Don't make a sound." They ran across to the window and climbed up on the shelf. Father and Mother Mouse were standing there in the moonlight, but they couldn't move and they couldn't speak. They were just toy mice from Mr. Wideawake's toy shop. "Quick," squeaked Miranda. She was almost crying with excitement. "Quick, shake the magic dust over them." They saw Father and Mother Mouse. "Quick," cried Miranda. "Quick." Chestnut held the sack open, and Jeremy and Miranda took out the magic dust in their paws and threw it over Father and Mother Mouse. The magic dust shone in the moonlight. As soon as it touched them, they changed. Their faces became warm and brown. Their eyes grew bright. "Miranda!" cried Mother Mouse, stepping forward. "Jeremy!" "We're alive!" cried Father Mouse. "Jeremy! Miranda! However did you do it?" Miranda and Jeremy threw the magic dust over Father and Mother Mouse. There was a grunt from the bed. Someone woke up. "Quick!" cried Chestnut. "This way!" He ran down to the floor and over to the chimney. The others all followed him as fast as they could. Father and Mother Mouse moved slowly because they weren't used to being able to move. Someone woke up. Quick, cried Chestnut. This way. Take off your shoes, whispered Miranda when they got to the fireplace. You can't climb the chimney in shoes. Father and Mother Mouse took off their shoes and followed the others up the chimney. By the time they got to the roof, they were as black as the other three. They all ran down the wall of the house into Puddle Lane. They all ran down the wall of the house into Puddle Lane. Tomcat was going down Puddle Lane when he came to the bucket of water outside Mr. Puffle's house. Mr. Puffle had forgotten it. Tomcat was thirsty and he was just taking a drink when he saw the mice running down the side of the house. The little mice landed safely in the lane. Tomcat got ready to spring. Tomcat saw the mice in the lane. But while Tomcat was watching the mice, another pair of eyes was watching Tomcat. The little dragon was up on a roof, looking down into Puddle Lane. He couldn't see the mice, but he could see Tomcat. The little dragon was up on a roof, looking down into Puddle Lane. As Tomcat sprang from behind the bucket, the little dragon hurtled down from the roof. He shot a flame of fire out of his mouth, which caught Tomcat in midair. Tomcat fell to the ground. His fur was on fire. The 5 little mice ran off up the lane faster than they had ever run before. Tomcat sprang out. The little dragon flew down. Tomcat felt his fur burning. He leapt into Mr. Puffle's bucket of water and disappeared with a hiss of steam. When he looked out a moment later, all dripping with water, he saw the little dragon standing in the lane looking at him. Tomcat looked out of the bucket. He saw the little dragon. Tomcat was angry. He was frightened too, but he wasn't a coward, and the dragon was smaller than he was. He knew that his fur was soaking wet and wouldn't catch fire again. He suddenly sprang out of the bucket onto the little dragon's back. The little dragon roared in anger. He tried to fly, but Tomcat was too heavy. The little dragon couldn't take off. Tomcat sprang out of the bucket onto the dragon's back. The little dragon roared. Tomcat tried to bite the dragon, but the dragon's scales were too hard. He couldn't get his teeth in. The little dragon gave a great shake and threw Tomcat off his back. The little dragon threw Tomcat off his back. Tomcat landed on his feet, but before he could attack the dragon again, the little dragon flew up into the air, breathing out fire and smoke. He had had enough. He flew away down Puddle Lane, leaving Tomcat standing there looking after him. The little dragon flew away down Puddle Lane. The mice didn't stop running until they came to the hollow tree in the magician's garden. All the wide-awake mice were there to greet them, and there was a great squeaking as they welcomed Father and Mother Mouse home. But Chestnut wouldn't let them stay outside very long. The dragon is about, he said fearfully, and so is Tomcat. They aren't here now, but you never know when they'll come. So they all went down under the tree. It was the happiest night Jeremy and Miranda had ever known. Father and Mother Mouse came home. When Gita woke up in the morning, she saw little black paw marks all over the carpet, and when she looked in the fireplace, she found 2 tiny pairs of shoes. She opened the door and called, "Harry, come and look." She picked up the little shoes and held them out in her hand. "What's happened?" asked Harry. "Where have the toy mice gone?" "I don't know," said Gita, "but I think the mice who live in the garden must have come for them. Let's go and look in the garden and see if we can see them." Harry and Gita looked at the little shoes.